Hi, my name is Mike, and I'm going to try today to create a stuffed burger. I've read a little bit about them, seen some YouTube videos reference to stuffed burgers, and thought that I'd try one myself. I haven't done extensive research on, the best, ingredients, the, best things to throw in. Um, So this is I'm kind of shooting straight from the hip. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I figured, why not? Let me go ahead and try it. So let me just kind of show you the ingredients that I've put together. The first thing is I was going to use beef, right? But I was at the grocery store. I came across this actually. It may. I hope I'm orienting this right. So I'm actually going to be using ground bison. From the little bit I've read, I'm told that bison is slightly leaner meat. It's kind of it's more or less on par with turkey. I'm told ground turkey. Um, and some people feel as though that the ground bison is a little healthier. So this is the Great Range brand premium ground bison, and I believe like this particular brand, the meat is derived from the animal that it was not exposed to any hormones or what have you. So yeah, there's the all natural label. So figured I'd try that, be a little health conscious while exploring this. So ground bison. I'm going to be using a couple of other things. Obviously, it's a stuffed burger. So I have here. I was actually cooking a little bit of egg foo young for the boys a little bit earlier, and I had a little bit of leftover bean sprout. Um, it was in the egg, so there's some egg in it too. I have no idea if that's a good idea or not, but I'm going to use that because I have it. I have some onion. Um, I have some right here. I have a little bit of sauteed mushrooms. I didn't bother cleaning out the pot that I was using to make the egg foo young in, so it's kind of an Asian cuisine thing here in the mix of this. But so we have the mushroom, and a lot of these stuffed burgers actually they a lot of people use cheese. So my favorite cheese is pepper jack. So I thought that I'd try some of this. Again, I hope I'm orienting this right. This the Lucerne pepper jack cheese. I'm gonna cut it up into small cubes and kind of throw it in. Um, there are some kind of gadgets in the market that you can use to kind of make the whole process of forming the patty mold to stuff your items inside of the burger. It just makes that whole process easier. I don't have that. I do have a souffle bowl that I figure that may kind of work, so I'm gonna try that. And I have a little bit of herb seasoning and some sea salt somewhere. So, gonna try it. So, I'm hoping that I can get at least two patties out of this. Doesn't seem to be a great deal of meat in the package, and but let's just test that theory. Gonna grab a knife and cut this open. Okay. Kind of a slightly different smell than beef. But there we go. It's open. Just gonna lay it down. I have a cutting board here that I lay saran wrap down on because, you know, we use this most of the time to cut vegetables. My wife is a vegan, so don't want to upset that whole thing. So here's the ground beef. I'm just gonna kind of, it's actually a decent amount of beef. Excuse me, bison. See, I'm still in the beef mode. That's a decent amount of meat. So I'm just gonna throw a little bit of, you know, seasoning on here. You know, a little bit of that herb seasoning, a little bit of salt. You know, yeah, can't find the pepper, so yeah, oh well, and just kind of work it around here. So just kind of work. So a little bit of more seasoning on top here. There we go. A little bit more salt. Really don't want to overdo that. And I don't know if I mentioned, but again, it's I'm using sea salt as opposed to regular iodized salt. So there we have it. Okay, so we have the meat here. Okay, and we have our little bowl. Now, what I'm thinking I can do, what I should do first, is I want to kind of divide this, at least divide it in half. Okay, so now we have this right here, which would actually be a very decent sized burger. You could probably do 4 of these as opposed to 2, but I'm going to kind of visually measure this out and kind of figure that I'm probably going to need, well, maybe I should mention that, you know, you have to create your mold, stuff your items in there, and of course you have to have a piece of, you know, a patty to go on top. So what I'm doing is I'm just kind of visually measuring, and I'm going to take about this much to make the top portion of the patty for the first burger. And I'm going to use this. This is actually a decent amount of beef. Let me sit a little bit after this. Bison. I said a beef again. Okay, so actually, wait a minute. I can see already that it's may not cooperate with me, but that's okay. So here we go. So I'm just gonna kind of try to keep this together. It's breaking apart on me. It may just be a characteristic of the meat. So I'm gonna just kind of work my magic around here. That's kind of working. So what I'm trying to do is kind of create a kind of like a relatively deep crevice, and have a rim all the way around the side, so that I'll have some place to put the meat into. So, and this is kind of making sense. You know, getting back to those days of, you know, back in school. I was an art major. You know, I feel like I'm back in pottery class. I was a graphic design, but we had to do, you know, explore all mediums. So, taking me back to my sculpture class, those days. Shout out to Morgan State University, Morgan Bears. Okay, so all right, so that's actually pretty good. I hope I didn't. I can see, like, I'm actually seeing the bowl kind of came through at the bottom. I may have kind of overdone it. So I don't know. Like I said, I'm improvising 100%. So maybe I'll just add a little bit more here to make up for that. Okay, so I'm making 2 burgers, so I want to kind of split the ingredients in half so I have enough for 2. So I'm going to take some of the bean sprout, and I'm going to spread that in there like so, like that. We're going to take some of the sauteed mushroom and throw that in there. And I probably should have pulled out the the cheese before now, but here we go. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit more. There we go. Well, before I do that, why don't I just kind of grab some onion. Okay, so chopping up the onions. Not a chef, so again, hey, kind of good enough. There are the onions. Here we go. Let's try to get this cheese open. And I kind of envision like some blocks of cheese. You know, people generally, it looks like they use like the shredded cheese, which I'm sure works perfectly fine. I figured that I cut these up and don't want to make them too thick. But, and maybe just kind of hack these into thirds and kind of throw the pepper jack in here like so. Why not? One more. Half. Okay. So I don't know if I should top it now. Yeah, I guess I should. Okay, so here we go. Alright, so I'm just gonna try to flatten this out. Yeah, flatten it out like so. And I guess put it on top, maybe. So now we have, you know, I'm gonna press around the edges. Like so. Now, what I'm hoping is that this thing would just come out. I have no idea if it is. It might not, but I hope it does. So I'm hoping I should be able to do is just kind of turn this thing over and just kind of ask it politely to come out. That's not happening, right? Great. Oh no. So maybe if I do it like this, kind of dislodge it from the edges, maybe that'll happen. Maybe it happened then. Seemed like it kind of wanted to. Ah, there we go. Look at that. Okay, so now we have, this is a ridiculous burger. Like I said, like I'm making 2 patties, but really, this is a half. I think I got about a pound of meat, so this is a half pound of meat. So like this is, I mean, this is a pretty big burger. You probably could divide your meat into, if you get a pound, into quarters and make quarter pounders. You know, this is a half pound burger. This is something. So yeah, so here we have it. Obviously the process is going to be the same for the second, third, and fourth burger. So I'm going to cut here and bring it back to where I'll be attempting to cook this massive hunk of meat. Okay, so I'm outside actually. I'm in front of my grill. I was actually going to use my oven. I was just gonna bake them, but my instincts told me that grilling would probably be a better option. So I'm just greasing down my grate here, and I have my patties here. I wrapped them in a little bit of plastic while I was trying to work out some of the details. So I'm just gonna unwrap the patty using one hand. Okay. And let's just get that like there, like so. I really don't want to mess this up. Okay, so I'm gonna lay this patty out right here. Grab a second patty. Kind of grab it like that. There we go. Get the plastic off and lay that second patty down right in front. So I'm gonna turn the grill up to kind of medium heat and let the patties cook, and you know, I'm going to just let them cook thoroughly, and I'll kind of see where I am in about 10-15 minutes. You know, I'll let her cook on one side, then turn the patties over, let it cook for a little longer, turn again, and then I think turn one more time. So I'll do, you know, I'll cook it and flip 4 times. So we'll see how that works out. All right, I'll be back with the finished product. Okay, actually thought it might be helpful to kind of show you how things are going with the cooking. So here are here are the patties. They look pretty good. I've turned them twice already, actually 3 times. So this is going to be the 4th and final turn for both. I mean, they look really good. So hopefully they taste as good as they look. But yeah, looking really good. So like I said, I have the grill on about medium heat. That seems to be working out pretty well. So turn this one over, and yeah, they look good. So gonna let these cook for a little bit more, and I'll be back with the finished product. Okay, so the burgers are off the grill. I've kind of put together my toppings and my bun. It's a multi-grain bun, and it's lightly toasted, kind of like toasting my bun. So I'm gonna put it together real quick. Here's a plate. I also baked some fries. So we'll just put the bottom piece of the bun here, and put the grilled bison burger on top. Going to add the spinach. And this is cucumber. I'm gonna have a pickle in addition, so I figure that, you know, I didn't need to have salt on the burger and also on the additional on the side. So I like to put spinach and cucumber and tomato. I would prefer to use a large tomato, but the grape tomatoes are all we had, so just gonna add some of that on top. Oops. And you see why now, because they're falling all over the place. But, you know, whichever toppings you prefer, you obviously add them. Alright, the top part of the bun, I'm just gonna add a little bit, very little bit, light amount of mayonnaise. Very light amount of mayonnaise. And I'm going to add some ketchup on the top portion of the bun. And just try to mash it down there. Now, I haven't tried to cut this burger open, hoping that, you know, it's thoroughly cooked through the center. You know, as I grill, sometimes I cheat and kind of cut the patty open, but I wanted to try to seal in as much of the juices as possible. So we'll see. So we're gonna cut it open right now and see what we have. Alright, so I'm going to cut it open. Hopefully it's thoroughly cooked through the center. Alright. And we'll cut to another angle to show you what the burger looks like. Okay, so here we go. It's been cut, so just gonna pull it open. That looks actually really good. That looks really good. So you can see the cheese fully melted. All other ingredients are nicely stuffed and cooked inside. Only other thing here to add here is my pickle, and yeah, we're finished. So yeah, here we have it. So again, we have a half-pound bison burger stuffed with the bean sprouts and the pepper jack cheese and the mushrooms, with the baked fries on the side and the Claussen pickle. So, like I said from the beginning, I was just kind of shooting from the hip. I'd never really done this before, taking a lot of time to, figure out, best practices and approaches. But, all in all, it turned out pretty well. So, if you have any comments or suggestions, please add them. Thanks.